Yo, what's cracking, lads? How's it going? It's your boy back with another commentary, man. Basically, what I'm going to go to in today's commentary is the team doubles playlist that came in a few weeks ago. I'm going to go into the positives and negatives of that. Maybe a little talk on the upcoming title update for April. Who knows? It could even be today that it comes, but obviously can't say too much on that because, you know, I'll just give my predictions. But team doubles, man. Anyone who's been following my channel for quite some time, they know that I was quite passionate about team doubles. This was one of my favorite playlists to play on XBC. You know, I just love the fact of that soul teamwork you got with your teammate and just that chemistry you build, and it's just fucking sick. Like if you get on a run with your teammate, like I used to do in Halo 3, when you go on like a 20 win streak or something at high level 50s, and you just it's just an awesome feeling. Not to mention how much of a big deal host has become in MCC because of 60 frames, which I'll get onto in a bit. But that's a big factor in team doubles, and it's kind of a bad one. But I'll get onto that in a bit. Team doubles, man. Let's just go on to the game types they play. I'm a really big fan of what they've done in terms of like the Halo 2 classic game types, like neutral, bomb, flag. You got team oddball. When I was playing on XBC, the worst thing about playing XBC doubles was all they did was run Slayer. It's like I'd say to people, let's fuck it, let's run team ball on Warlock, and they'd say, what? Who is this kid? And I was like, what? Have I spoken some unspoken rule or something? And it was just like no one. It was just like the sacred thing. You don't play objective 2v2 game types. And I'm thinking, hold up, man. They used to run it on Halo 2 Xbox Live. It was awesome. Why aren't we doing this? And it was a shame, because I always thought it was nice to run it, 2v2 flag doubles on midship, or 2v2 ball on lockout. I think that's I think it's awesome, just to get those different variety of game types in there, because I'm not being funny, but when you're playing, like, predominantly it was always midship, lockout and warlock slayer for a 2v2 game type on XBC. That's all anyone ever did, so it got really boring, and it was just quite crap, to be honest, after a while, because you rarely ever play like a Beaver Creek or an Ivory Tower. And it's kind of strange because everyone played objective 4v4s, but they didn't play that. So I'm really digging the new kind of teamwork you have to bring to objective game types. It's not all about just being that sneaky kind of neighbor player and sneaking around and destroying people and just being a total slayer. Like, I'm not being funny, but I've tried doing that sometimes, and someone will just grab the bomb and plant it, and I'm like, okay, so I'm losing now. I've lost the lead. And so that's a cool feeling in a way, to know that I have to change things up and I can't just take the same routes I'm doing all the time. And yeah, so that's what I'm loving, is the variety of game types. In terms of adding in Halo 3, which is what they've done, and they've added in Halo 4 and Halo 2 Anniversary, I'm not a big fan of it, as you know, because I purely love Halo 1 and Halo 2 Classic. And what I don't understand is when they bring ranks out, how is this going to work? Because I don't feel that my skill will be measured efficiently, and I think it will be measured inconsistently if I'm being ranked on all of these games just for team doubles. So if I was to go on a 6-win streak on a Team BR's Halo 2 Classic game type, and then Halo 4 comes up and I just get absolutely wrecked, you know what I'm saying, and and then I go down for my rank, it's very inconsistent to tell. What I want them to do is give a separate playlist for each game. I know that's a bit far-fetched, because you can imagine what the population will be like for each game, but either that or just drop Halo 4 out of the mix. I really hate Halo 2 Anniversary. I'm not a big fan of it. I only play it with my friends sometimes because they want to rank up for whatever reason. Not that there's any point, but yeah, that's the only reason I'd play that. But that's just a personal preference. I bet there's people out there that kind of like that variety of games. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I do like to play a bit of Halo 3. But if I want to be measured in a consistent way for my skill, it would have to just be on Halo 2 Classic doubles. If we're talking ranks, you know, I think a lot of people will come back. I know how that's going. But yeah, I think that's the best bit at the moment, is knowing that ranks are coming. The fact that we're going to be able to just work for something and not just like win a game and say, well, what was the point of this, which has been going on for like 5 years since Reach, you know. And even just the stupid shit happening when I'm in team doubles sometimes, that is just on a bit of an off tangent. When I get multi-kills, sometimes my multi-kills, or even in like a Slayer game, you know, 4v4s, my actual multi-kills aren't coming up. You can see it in my RBX triple I got a while ago. My triple kill doesn't actually show up. That's kind of frustrating, because if you do something really big one day and then, you know, like, it just doesn't say you did it, you know, that would suck. Another thing I wanted to talk about in terms of the MCC and Halo 2 Classic, I said it before, it's the host. I think host has just become so powerful. When I'm host, like, I can abuse it if I want to, like, to the point where if I have like a random teammate, I don't care who it is these days, like, with host you can just destroy almost anyone if you use it right. It's way more powerful than it was on XBC. I'm sure a lot of people can agree that. I remember getting on the first time on MCC, and I played like players like Hoke and Lingen, and I was going like 32 kills on host with like a random player on my team. That just wouldn't happen. That would never happen on XBC. It's kind of crazy. Not that anything can really be done about it. I'm just putting it out there that if you are on a slightly bad connection and you're playing somewhat decent players that know how to position, that can flank, that can play smart, it's going to be extremely tough for you to beat them, especially if they have host. So that's just something I wanted to, you know, talk about. But if you can beat them, man, then you're an ace player, and, you know, good on you. But hey, let's go on and talk about what I think the update will be like. Man, I see it as it's based on the last update. We gotta give props, you know, that they actually did do something right. They did at least like 10 updates that did fuck all and made the game worse. You know, there are times that I'm sometimes searching in the doubles playlist and it takes ages to find something, but I don't know if that's actually due to like Xbox Live, because Xbox Live's been a bit rusty at the moment, but I got good hopes for it, man. It's just how they place the ranks with what playlists at this point. You've got to think about it like that. As I said before, if you're being ranked on games that you didn't want to play, it's not going to go very well, is it? You know, in terms of Halo C, I know that they dropped the maximum player limit to 2. Which means that it's a 2v2 playlist essentially. That's what I wanted for Halo 2 Classic, is just a straight Halo 2 Classic doubles playlist. Gimme ranks, I'm set, man. I know hardcore will be pretty dope with ranks, and I say this connection issue, but at the end of the day that's been happening since God knows how long, but you know, that's something you can't really fix at the end of the day. But I'm just saying, with this 60 frames per second, it's so powerful, especially on Halo 2. For a game like Halo 2 Classic that was really never meant to be a HD game, it was always meant to be, you know, a lower quality game in terms of, you know, the visual representation of the game. And you know, I do know what I'm talking about here. Like, we're talking about the game was always played on like tube TVs, you know what I mean? It was never meant for that higher resolution and everything. So that's why it plays a lot faster and a lot better. You know, if you played an old Halo 2 Classic on the original Xbox and you played on a tube TV, you would see a huge difference in your gameplay. It's so much faster, it's so much clearer, and I feel like it's almost a stronger auto aim for you, you know what I mean? Like, you can hit shots better and everything. But yeah, that's just some of the stuff I wanted to talk about, lads. I would like to know what you think, or whether you're just done with MCC, or whether you're coming back. Because I know you know, I haven't been consistent with uploads, but then again, I can't do much if there's nothing for me to record these days. You know, when I go into a doubles game, I'm finding really bad players, and I'm not just trying to be harsh. but they're quitting every single time, and I know it's been happening forever in playing hardcore. You've got nothing to lose, you know, you can just quit, it doesn't matter. They're only just implementing you know, a penalty system for quitting, which obviously should have been done on day one, or should have been done in one of these last patch updates, but it doesn't matter. Like, that's gone, it's happened, you know. People still to this day are just quitting, they don't give a fuck, like, and that's fair enough, man. Like, I can see why you do it sometimes, because, you know, if they're not gonna do anything about it, then you may as well just bail if you're not enjoying it. But I don't know, it's a common misconception these days about Halo and just fucking everything about it. I don't know what to think of it these days with the developers and how they think and how they go towards changing their game and whether or not it's the right thing to do. I don't know, man. As people say, it's money that talks, and it's what, you know, once you've bought their product, you know, you've paid for it, and you know, we can all hate as much as we want on Twitter about what they're doing. I don't really think they give a fuck anymore. Like, I've tried, you know, God help me, I've tried to you know, kick up a storm about all of this, but you know, I can only do so much with everyone, and I don't think they've listened that much considering how long it's been. But again, just thinking about how Halo 5 is going to be run next season, that just sucks, man. It's the end of Halo for me. But as I said, what I've said even before this game came out was that I'm only going to be focused on, you know, creating content for Halo 2 Classic and Halo 1. That's where I'm going to stay at. That's where I stayed at on XBC. Not even knowing if Halo 2 Anniversary was ever going to come out. I was making content and I was making commentaries, and that's what I'm going to stay doing. So if you enjoyed it, please give it a like. I appreciate it. And I'll catch you later, lads. Peace.